So this is a service we're looking to start selling in 2025. So what we're doing is we're taking and building out essentially a proof of concept for what is in my head for what this perfect media wall would be. And then we'll start from there. We'll start kind of building packages for our clients and offering it to some of the builders that we work with. But currently we have considering I own an AV company, we have a pretty lackluster entertainment center and TV. So it's a 55-inch older LG up on the wall. We have a small entertainment center. We recreate this entire thing into something A, more aesthetically pleasing, B, incorporating more of the tech that we like to use daily, and just cleaning it up in general by hiding all the wires.
All right, so like I mentioned, this is our initiative for 2025 to do design, build, and implement these into our clients' homes. For those of you new to the channel, my name is Nate. I own a custom integration company, meaning I help people implement technology into their homes and businesses. This is the proof of concept that we're building. This is my personal house. We are going to design, build, and test all of the things that are in my head of how this type of media wall should work. I took inspiration from a bunch of different companies that already do similar types of things. These media walls do seem very popular in the UK and Europe. And I'm taking the practices that we use regularly in our AV installations and applying them to this. So the first thing that you're going to see us do is we're going to cut in a 17-inch Legrand back box. There are quite a few things in this video, in this project in general, that we will be changing for the next one, but that was the point of this. This was kind of to flesh out all of the concepts I had in my head of what would work and what wouldn't work. You'll see in a little bit that we frame out an area for the TV to mount. In hindsight, that should have been done first before putting the back box in. We ended up having to cover up half of the back box, which wasn't a big deal because we really only needed to house 2 pieces of equipment inside of this and to pull power up for all of that equipment. But in the future, we will likely use a 14-inch back box. We will frame a rectangle onto the wall, including where we're going to mount the actual TV, and then fit the back box around that as opposed to doing it first, which we cut the hole and mounted where we typically would with a TV mount. It's not that it didn't work. It just wasn't, it wasn't as streamlined and it wasn't as good as I was hoping for as far as location wise. So what you see is here, we're just stealing power from this existing outlet and moving it up into that back box. So we drilled a hole and fished Romex up and then made the connections. With this Legrand back box, they have dogs that allow you to suck it up tight to the drywall once it's installed in a retrofit application. In this, I have 2x6 walls in this room. So I very well could have just screwed it into the wall, but we did end up using the dogs for this. So there's a bunch of little things that, like I said, I would change about how we did this. The main one being, again, I would build this frame to match the TV mainly for the LED lights. So this project has multiple stages of lighting, multiple layers of light in it. What I would have done in hindsight is frame that into a rectangle with equal distance from the edges of that white backer board and applied the LEDs to that because it would have just made the lighting a little more uniform. But again, lessons learned. The backer board that we used is a PVC board that is a 1/2 inch thick. In the future, we may stay with the with this type of board. I have seen other companies that will use MDF and then adhere a piece of Luan to it. Cutting this was just more difficult than anticipated. I think if you used a track saw, it would be no problem, but doing it on site here, not in our shop, it proved a little more of a pain than I had anticipated. Because it's PVC, it just melts when you cut it, especially with like an oscillating tool, like you see me there cutting out the interior section so that we had access to that back box. Another big piece that I would change in the future when we do this again is we'll use an articulating mount, or at minimum a pull-out mount. There's multiple times that we had to take the TV back down to adjust anything, and if we had done it on an articulating mount, we would have offset that behind this white backer panel so that it still sat flush, but it would have given us quite a bit more flexibility of how we were to do things. This ended up being, this is a 75-inch screen. This, based on the math that we did, was about as big as we could go and still have the dimensions that we were looking for based on the space. Those PDF sheet, or those, not PDF, those PVC sheets do come in 8-foot sections, same as a sheet of plywood. So you're fairly limited to the size of the screen that you're gonna do if you wanna have an even border around the edges. This is one of the LED strips that we will be using. Fancy LED did reach out and send this to us for the video, so thank you to them for that. The Fancy LED, what it does is takes its HDMI lighting. So what it does is it pulls your source lighting, or your source from, in our case, it's an Apple TV. It has 3 inputs on it and then 1 output. So you're gonna pull from your source, the Apple TV, into input 1, and then output is going to leave the Fancy LED controller into the TV. What this does is it pulls all of the lighting based on what's happening on the screen and emits those colors out, which you'll see at the end of the video. It does a very good job. I was very impressed with it. The LED strip had a ton of diodes. It was very nice. It does come with an adhesive backer on the LED strip. It was a very easy install. If you've been thinking about doing something like this, Fancy LEDs does a great job with it. Their app was very seamless and it worked well. So here you see us pulling the TV down. Fancy LEDs does send 4 corner brackets with adhesive for your TV. You're gonna go ahead and take your LED strip, remove the backer strip, adhere that all the way along the TV, including using the corner brackets. It is powered with Type-C, so they give you an included Type-C cable, which you're going to plug into the controller. It came with quite a few different plug attachments. Here in the US, you would use your standard one, but it did come with European attachments. Here we're just using Velcro to attach the Fancy LED driver into the back box with the Apple TV. Again, we already have power in that box from earlier. So we have multiple layers of lighting. We have that back lighting, which is powered with Philips Hue, and then we have the Fancy LED. This is just going to show the setup of the app. I intentionally left this piece in here. The Fancy LEDs, just like a lot of IoT devices, are not going to work on 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi, so you will need to use a 2.4 network. So you can see here me attempting to put it on the main network that we have, which is 5 gigahertz. It fails. We swapped it over to 2.4. It picked it up immediately. I didn't need to press anything on the controller. Very impressed with how well it worked, and it fired right up. No issues for us utilizing an Apple TV for it. You could do this with an Xbox. I believe you can use any type of 4K streaming device. And as you can see, we threw up a stream just off of Netflix, and it does a really good job of bouncing out colors and pulling the image out of the screen. I was very impressed with this. I will say it does work significantly better with movies or things that you really want to be an engrossing piece of media that you're watching. If it's more of a standstill, I would stick with just the backlit LEDs. And here is our finished product. So we're using Philips Hue for the background LEDs. We have Fancy LEDs for the HDMI lighting. We used a Sonos Arc and Sonos Sub. This does not have rear channels tied to it. However, you could use the Era 100s, Era 300s, or you could put in-ceiling speakers and use a Sonos amp. Thank you for watching our video. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. It helps our channel out a ton. Thank you to Fancy LEDs for sending out the HDMI lighting for us. And we'll catch you with the next video.